welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Too Faced Christmas Bake Shop makeup set. If you do want to see a review and a demo, then please keep watching. As a huge favor, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment anything down below. I greatly appreciate it. I read all the comments and I'll do my best to reply back. This set retails for $54 at Too Faced Online, Sephora, Ulta Beauty, Nordstrom, and Macy's. I do want to read a little bit about this set on Too Faced's website. Welcome to the Too Faced Christmas Bake Shop, where we're serving up fresh bake inspiration, perfect for gifting and keeping. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. It is so cute. I love the design on the packaging. Up at the top it says Too Faced. Underneath that it says Christmas Bake Shop. A little mistletoe here. Or is it a holly? I'm not too sure. It has the little oven mitt here. Adorable. On this side of the packaging you have a list of ingredients. Same thing on this side, there's another list of ingredients. Up at the top you have the little stove top. It's so cute, and the little oven knobs. On the bottom you have another list of ingredients. On the back you have a picture of all three face and eyeshadow palettes included, and the travel size mascara. Here's what the inside looks like. How adorable are these palettes? It also comes with a travel size Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. The first palette is called the Ginger Snap palette. I love the little gingerbread cookies. Here's what the back looks like. You have a to and from if you want to gift this to a loved one. On the bottom it does state that the bulk was made in the USA, but it was assembled in the Dominican Republic. I like how thin the palette is. This can be great for a stocking stuffer. Here's what the inside of the palette looks like. It says Too Faced on it. It doesn't have a mirror, which is fine, and this is made out of cardboard packaging. The first shade in the palette is called Weirdo. Super soft and smooth in the pan. I wasn't able to find shade descriptions online. Here's what that shade looks like. Here's what it looks like blended out. The second shade is called You'll Love It. This is a shimmer shadow. Again, very soft in the pan. That shimmer is stunning. The third shade in the palette is called Baking Spirits Bright. I love how that blended out. The last shade in the top row is called Make It Rain Dear. Again, very pigmented. This shade is a little bit patchy. The first shade in the bottom row is called Oh Ginger Snap. Here's what that shadow looks like. Next up we have Missile Toasted. Love that shimmer. That shimmer is beautiful. The second to last shade is called Slay What. Again, that shadow is a little bit patchy. It's similar to the shade in Make It Rain Dear. The last eyeshadow in the palette is called Get Baked. Wow, another beautiful shimmer. The blush in this palette is called Cinnamon Bunny. The blush in this palette might be too light for me, but let's see what it looks like applied on the cheek. Here's what the Ginger Snap palette looks like. It does state on the box that this smells like ginger snap cookies. Let's see. I can't smell anything. There's no scent. Taking a clean blush brush, I'm going to dip into the blush shade in Cinnamon Bunny. I'm getting a little bit of fallout in the pan. Here's what the blush shade in Cinnamon Bunny looks like. I don't like how this blush is pulling a white undertone. It almost looks like I'm wearing a glowy blush, but this blush is matte. Let's see what the next palette looks like. The next palette is called the Chocolate Chip palette. I love the details on the chocolate chip cookies. Again, here's what the back looks like. You have a to and from. Here's what the inside looks like. Again, it says Too Faced. Here's what all 8 shadows look like. This time we have a highlighter instead of a blush. The first shade in the palette is called Taking Whisk. Again, very soft in the pan. This shade looks a little bit too light. The next shade is called Catching Fillings. That shade is very pigmented. The second to last shade in the top row is called Sweet on Santa. That shimmer is so pretty. The last shade in the top row is called Truth or Dear. I like how that blended out. First shade in the bottom row is called Doe MG. You can barely see that shade. It kind of blends in with my skin tone. The next shade is called All the Jingle Ladies. That lavender is so pretty. The second to last shade in this palette is called Round of a Claws. I like how that blended out. The last shade in this palette is called Chocolate Chip. Again, I like how that blended out. The highlighter shade in the palette is called Resting Wish Face. Wow, that highlighter is bright. Here's what everything looks like in the chocolate chip palette. Taking a clean highlighter brush, let's see what the shade in Resting Wish Face looks like. Again, I'm getting a tiny bit of fallout in the pan. Here's what the highlighter shade in Resting Wish Face looks like. I actually like this highlighter shade, coming from a person who does not like highlighter at all. The last palette is called the Sugar Cookie palette. How adorable are these little sugar cookies? It's so cute. Here's what the back looks like. Again, we have a to and from. Here's what the Sugar Cookie palette looks like. Again, I love the design on the packaging. Here's what all 8 eyeshadows look like. And again, we have one blush. First shade in the palette is called Maids a Milking. Again, very soft in the pan. The second shadow is called Sugar Bells. Here's what the shadow in Sugar Bells looks like. That shade is really pretty. The third shade in the palette is called Mint to Be. That shade is so pretty. The last shade in the top row is called Claws a Stir. That shade is a little bit patchy. The first shade in the bottom row is called Go Elfing Wild. You can barely see that shadow. The next shade is called Nice Package. This shade is patchy as well. The second to last shade is called Treat Yo Elf. That shimmer is gorgeous. The last shade in the palette is called It Suits You. I like how pigmented that black shadow swatched. The blush shade in this palette is called Elfed Up. That blush shade is so pretty. Here's what everything looks like in the Sugar Cookie palette. Taking a clean blush brush, let's see what the blush shade in Elfed Up looks like. Again, I'm getting a tiny bit of fallout in the pan. Here's what the blush shade in Elfed Up looks like. I like this shade so much better. Now let's create a look using all 3 eyeshadow palettes. Taking a clean fluffy brush, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Make It Reindeer in the Ginger Snap palette, applying that in my crease, going back and forth, doing windshield wiper motions. That shade is very pigmented. A little bit of product goes a very long way. Doing the same thing on the other side. Using that same brush, going into the Chocolate Chip palette, dipping into the shadow in all the Jingle Ladies. I'm getting a tiny bit of fallout with these eyeshadows as well. Applying that shadow right beneath the first shade and Make It Reindeer. Again, going back and forth, doing windshield wiper motions. I'm loving how easily these shades blend in with one another. Doing the same thing on this side. Using my finger, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Mint to Be in the Sugar Cookie palette. Pack this all over my lid. This mint green shadow is stunning. Going back in with my crease brush, making sure there's no harsh lines, blending everything together. Doing the same thing on the other eye. Going back into the Chocolate Chip palette, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Sweet on Santa using a pointed pencil brush. Apply that in my inner corner. I love how that looks. For mascara, I'm going to apply the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Here's a closer look on what the mascara tube looks like. It says Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. You get 4.8 grams of product or 0.17 ounces. It states it was made in Italy and it has a 6-month shelf life. Here's what the wand looks like. I love fluffy wands like this. Here's how the eye look turned out. For lips, I'm going to apply the Hangover RX Pillow Lip Balm in the shade Cocoa Kiss. Here's one last look on what everything looks like. My final thoughts on this makeup set is that I really did like it. I didn't like the fallout from the blushes or the eyeshadows in each palette. I was surprised how good the quality was with the eyeshadows. They blended out very easily. They were very pigmented. You don't need a lot of product. I will continue to play with these palettes and I will leave below in the description box my thoughts. I love this highlighter shade. It looks very natural on the skin. I don't like how the blush shade in Cinnamon Bunny looks on me. I prefer the blush shade in Elfed Up. For $54, I think this set is a great value. That means each eyeshadow palette would be $18, plus you get a travel size mascara. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on purchasing this set for yourself or for a loved one. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.